Every Monday, we sit down and I give you one example of something that has triggered from the StatsEdge Pro trading system. And we got two so far for this week. So, slow week starting out, but I'm going to kind of show why I think that's perfectly normal and probably why a little bit later in the week things are going to pick up just a little bit. And mainly it's this. I did this whole talk about why I look at these economic reports, even though I don't really care what they are or what they say. It's just knowing when the volatility is going to come in. So today for the US, we had this early in the morning and then pretty much nothing. We've got some Fed speakers, but who cares? And then tomorrow we've got FOMC minutes. That might be something. And then if you take a look at, if we just go to Friday, all of this is like huge market reports, right? GDP, PCE. Again, I just look at here where it gives you a color coding and a lot of red, a lot of orange, a huge day. So quite often what can happen in those days is you get moves like we kind of saw here in the market where you have a little bit of a sell in the morning and now we're back to that high right now. This is the pre-market high and this is the pre-market low. We're a little bit above that, but we've moved. It's kind of hard to see here. We moved 0.18%. So slow so far, a pretty slow day. But what's interesting is both of the names that we have had triggered are really fitting for kind of what we've been seeing in this market with this like non-durable consumer sundries, like really boring type stuff. Because in this market, when everything's getting kind of murdered because of AI, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing work is that the boring stuff, Pepsi, for example, has just been on an absolute tear, not because they invented Pepsi 2.0 or something, just people are taking their money out of things they think can get hurt for AI and they're putting it into things that aren't. And the beauty of it is that I know that because I listen to podcasts and read Twitter and all that. The system doesn't, and it doesn't need to know. It's simply just looking at this a technical pattern and looking at the relative strength of this name and saying if this relative strength continues, then we have a pretty good look here. So this is CENTA. You can see the purple line was when we were looking to get in there, gapped above that and kind of triggered right off the open for a gap. For me, I just waited a little bit just to see if we would come down. We did. I didn't quite get right at that line, a little bit above there, but you can see any kind of textbook will show you this particular pattern. You have a large push up here that happened right after earnings. So earnings was on this day. So you had this big push up after earnings. So whatever kind of nerds read those things said the earnings were good. Thankfully, I don't have to. And then you just had this sideways consolidation. So the fact that we have gapped up and continued higher from there is just showing that, again, this is a pretty good sector and whatever they said on earnings was pretty good as well. Long-term chart, this thing's done absolutely nothing. So I'm not expecting a huge amount out of it. But if we can get to this kind of 37 and a half area, that is interesting to me. But the other one was GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. So you can just see that a lot of these things are just boring names. And it's because boring is working right now. And that is one of the main benefits of being a systematic trader is that I don't care. These are all just numbers on a screen to me. I don't care what the company is or what the company does. If the company is really super exciting and does some sort of crazy AI or drug research or whatever, great, I'll trade it. And if it does nothing and it's a pet garden, then I'll trade it too because I have the numbers and I have the back tests and I just know if I over time do this thing, then eventually things will go well. And the system does a pretty good job just by looking at relative strength, adapting to themes and changes in markets without me needing to think about it. Because if things are strong, then you're just going to have that outperforming the market and you're going to see that relative strength. So if you're interested in more of this, if you want to trade with an edge that's proven as opposed to trying to figure out on the fly what looks good or what looks bad, come on over to StatsEdgeTrading. And until I get to you guys next time, I'm going to go take a nap because I'm sick.